Today I am going to talk about how I created this piece. Before I start the video, thank you all for the comments and the support on the last video. It did way better than I expected. This image is actually from an ebook thumbnail I am working on at the moment. I might put links in the description in future videos. It's a high fantasy novel about two characters. Anyway, let's talk about drawing. The canvas size is 3000 by 3000 pixels and 300 dpi, just like last video. And it took me a little over 5 hours. I actually forgot to record some parts, so the footage is a bit shorter. I used brush packs from the Naka YouTube channel and Joshua Black's brush set while working on this piece. The beginning of the book takes place on a deserted planet, where different races from across the galaxy compete for a prize, kind of like Red Lion or Star Wars. Our main characters are riding a giant worm similar to the ones in Dune. I took a bunch of reference photos of the sandworm from the Dune, but the one I used as a reference photo in this video is actually from a Hearthstone card called Corridor Creeper, which was clearly inspired by Doomworm. But why did I choose this reference photo instead of painting the actual Doomworm? Well, the Doomworm is more accurate to what I wanted to create, but it's also a lot harder to draw. I don't think I could handle that much texture and detail right now, and I really like this pose. I made 3 different sketches and I really liked the second one. The first one was good too, but I realized it would require a ton of effects and texture, which are beyond my skill level at the moment. I also wanted to focus more on the character connections rather than the terrifying worm. The third sketch was alright as well, but I didn't want to draw a huge desert background, so I decided to work on second sketch. The two main characters are Alagor and Orin. Orin is a teenage boy who travels through the dimensions or universes, whatever you like to call, with Alagor. But Alagor doesn't have a solid physical form, so only Orin can see him. I also had a hard time deciding between the brushes, and they are really different from one another. Usually the hardest part for me is the sketching and the middle phase, but for some reason this time the sketch phase was super easy and enjoyable. I had a really good time sketching this piece, and the Alagor's pose came out really close to what I imagined. After finishing him, I added the sandworm and Orin. Orin is barely hanging onto the worm, and to show how he feels, I drew his portrait as a separate panel, kind of like a comic book. You might notice that I used a circular, kind of spiral-like shaped composition, just like in the last video. There's no specific reason for it, I just really like creating spiral compositions because they feel really energetic and dynamic to me. I'll try to experiment with different compositions and maybe colder colors in my next video, because I don't like getting stuck on one thing for too long. But I'll probably come back to this kind of compositions from time to time. And now we reached the middle phase. Even though it wasn't super long, it was the hardest part. I almost didn't enjoy this stage at all. I kept reminding myself that you can't always have it easy, but still it was rough. I deleted some portions of the video because after coloring everything, I wasn't happy with the result, like at all. It was the best decision I ever made. I also completely reviewed the Orin's portrait from the sketch. You might notice that the lines started to look much bolder compared to the sketch. That's because I switched to the NK basic brushes for the line art, which is also the reason why I repeated so many things from scratch. Then I finished the Orin's portrait, and it turned out way better than I expected. Like, it's alright. The last part of the process is quite interesting. Even though it takes less than 20% of the time and effort, it feels like it adds up to 80% of the final artwork. Quite fascinating how finishing touches always change the piece so much. I added a lot of smoke effects, shadows, and lighting to enhance the atmosphere. I didn't spend too much time on the background. In the end, I added some glow effects and floating particles to Oliver, which gave some life to the composition. Then I played around with the hue, contrast, and added some Gaussian blur. And this is the final result. If you like this video, please do subscribe and comment your thoughts about this video, so I can keep making new content. See you in the next video.